Hello and welcome to a closer look and unboxing of the brand new Eureka box set, the Masters of Cinema series, spine number 229, then 305, 306, 307, 308, and 309. Mabuse Lives. So this is Dr. Mabuse at CCC 1960 to 1964. So I've got a lot to say about Dr. Mabuse, but I suspect that by the time I've gone through this box set, excuse my voice cracking, I will have a lot more to say about Dr. Mabuse. So before we get to this, we're going to do like an unboxing on the chair with, kind of getting into all the goodies in here and the 6 films contained and the extras, and there you go. Get a look at the spine there. This is a gorgeous set. Hard box. You got 2 Amway cases on the inside, and I'll talk about it when we get down to the kind of unboxing section of this. But I have to comment on this because I think it's really cool. We finally get back artwork on one of these damn things. Look at this. Gorgeous. With the German titles as well, which is really cool. Because so often with these hard box releases from Eureka, it's just blank and just the credits text at the bottom. So I love that real estate being used for a gorgeous piece of artwork, and it kind of wraps around here all the way to the front, which is really awesome. I mean, there's no way it's not Tony Stella. I mean, come on. You kidding me? Yeah, Tony Stella. So Dr. Mabuse is a character that was portrayed and brought to life in the films of Fritz Lang in 1922, 1924, I believe. Was it 24, 26? I can't remember now. Because 22 was Nosferatu. I think 26 was Die Nibelungen? No. Maybe Die Nibelungen was 24. When was Dr. Mabuse der Spieler? Right, well, first of all, here's the box set. We'll be looking at it in just a second, but I just wanted to talk about the other films and the ones that are released in the MOC collection as well. So the first one, maybe it'll say on like the copyright on the back of this. It was 1922. Maybe Nosferatu is 1920. When was Nosferatu? I don't know. Anyway, so 1922, we have Dr. Mabuse der Spieler, the Gambler. So this is a 2-part silent film epic about this nefarious character here, Dr. Mabuse. And he's played brilliantly by the actor whose name I've already forgotten. But Rudolf Klein-Rogge, I believe. Yeah. Maybe it'll say on the inside of the booklet. No, it doesn't. Anyway, so this is like a two-part epic. It's a crime story of a man who has many faces, and I loved it. I really did. I just thought, man, a 5-hour crime story, like silent. Man, I really enjoyed it. And there's this bit near the end where there's like this big kind of shootout and stuff, and he calls someone limp dick. And Connie quoted it like a few days later in the shop, and I just thought, my fiance just quoted a fucking 1922 German silent film, motherfucker. Like, I was just so proud of that. So I really like the first Dr. Mabuse film, and I don't know enough about it. I have a lot to say about it, just in terms of like my anticipation for some of these films, and also just what's come before and the legacy of it in terms of Fritz Lang. So here is the steelbook for the second film from, I think it's 1933 or 31. Yeah, I think that those are the release dates of this film and M. Which one's this? It doesn't say on the back. Early 30s at least anyway. And I think M came first. I think M was 31. This might be 33. And this is Das Testament des Dr. Mabuse. The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. God, an amazing piece of artwork that is. And this film is in sound, and I remember this one I have vaguer memories of, to be honest, because it's just different, but also the use of sound is really interesting. I mean, with M it's like vital, but you still just get the sense of like a real master at play, like Fritz Lang still experimenting with the use of sound. It just feels like it wasn't like, okay, we'll just have talking now. Like it really is used in a impactful way. I really need to I'd love to revisit all of these. Do I have the time? No, I don't. So will I? Probably not. But especially given there's 6 films in this box set. But yeah, so the 2 Fritz Lang ones that I've seen. So the first one, Dr. Mabuse Der Spieler, was spine 69 in the collection. This one is spine 43, came out earlier. And then we have spine 229, as I already mentioned, because this was already released. This is The Thousand Eyes of Dr. Mabuse, also directed by Fritz Lang during his Hollywood run, I believe. Oh no, 1960 Germany. So I'm completely wrong there. Sorry, I got that wrong. I have not seen this one. So now's the time, I guess. This one's just been sitting on the shelf. I do love the artwork, which now that I'm looking at, who did the artwork on this? Who did the art? It doesn't say. Oh, newly commissioned and original poster artwork. Let's have a look on the inside here. That'll be on the inside, on the kind of the reversible sleeve. This has kind of telltale signs of AI to me. I don't know. There's the warped. Yeah, I'd never looked at this up close before. Anyway, The Thousand Eyes of Dr. Mabuse. I've not seen it. So it turns out when I said at the beginning I have a lot to say about Dr. Mabuse, I have fuck all to say about Dr. Mabuse. Other than I really love the first film, and I really enjoyed the second one, and I'd love to see them again. And now I have the opportunity to see 6 more of them. But only the first one, I believe, is directed by Fritz Lang. So Mabuse Lives. I'm really intrigued by this one. And so these are from like the 60s. And so I get the impression these are kind of like schlocky, kind of like 60s crime movies. Maybe I'll be completely surprised. I have no idea. But that's kind of all part of the journey for me. So let's take a closer look at this and unbox Mabuse Lives. Dr. Mabuse at CCC 1960 to 1964. All right, here we have it. Mabuse Lives. Dr. Mabuse at CCC 1960 to 1964. So we have the films The 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse, which I believe was directed by Fritz Lang, The Return of Dr. Mabuse, The Invisible Dr. Mabuse, The Testament of Dr. Mabuse, Scotland Yard Hunts Dr. Mabuse, and The Death Ray of Dr. Mabuse. I like how you kind of get the different typefaces on here, and there has been some, I don't know if I would say criticisms, I don't think it's really a criticism, but there's been pointings out that the presentation of this box set and a little bit of the previous box set we had in the MOC collection, which was the Louis Feuillade crime serials box set. There's been some comments on the fact that these box sets feel similar to Indicator. And I suppose I'm giving it credence by even bringing it up, but I don't think that, I kind of get the point, but I don't think that it's entirely Indicator-esque, nor do I think the Indicator kind of design is particularly, revolutionary or anything, but it is a little bit of a difference in how box sets have been treated in the past with the MOC collection. So first you get this, what would you call this? Because I've heard so many different things. There's belly bands, there's O-rings, there's J cards, but this one is essentially kind of a slip card thing. I don't know. It kind of sits inside it, which I kind of like. I don't know whether I'll keep this on in the because the Louis Feuillade one has the same thing. But let's take a look at the spine first here. I like how you have all the titles again, and it fits nicely with the title on the spine there. But I also like just this detail of the character there. That's really cool. So we can take a look at the back. This has kind of a rundown of the origin of the character with Fritz Lang, and the films included in this set, and along with the directors who have taken part in this kind of series over the 1960s, kind of reviving the character, so to speak. So there's Harold Reinl, Werner Klingler, Paul May, and Hugo Ferganese, who directed Black Tuesday, which is spine number 300 in the MOC collection. But yeah, it says it continues Fritz Lang's legacy while playing into a popular market taste in Germany for adaptation of literary krimis. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't think it is. Or crime thrillers. That can also be seen in the enormous popularity of films based upon Edgar Wallace's novels throughout the 1960s. These all come from 2K restorations. So on the back you have the listings of all the extras. I don't know if there's more of that on the Blu-rays on the inside. We'll take a look at that. But you get the posters there on the bottom too, which is really nice. I like that touch. And then the CCC logo here. So if we take this off, let me just put that to one side a second. You get the full artwork. This is just gorgeous. I mean, Tony Stella, he's brilliant, and I just love this image. It's fucking gorgeous. It really is fantastic. As I said, I like how it kind of wraps around, and we get artwork on the back, which is just something I've wanted for years with these box sets from Eureka. And I like how the German titles are presented here across the box set on the back. Very, very nice. So on the inside, we have 2 Amaray cases and the booklet. So let's take a look at those. So the first case we have here has a poster for the 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse. Spine number 229. As I just showed you, this was released previously in the collection. And on the back, we get, I'm assuming, let's take a look actually, I'm not sure. There's is it 4 disc set? I'm not entirely sure. The Invisible Dr. Mabuse. We'll take a look at the other covers and I'll kind of pull them out, but let me just sort the discs out a second. Alrighty, so the first disc here is the 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse on its own disc. I'm assuming it's the same as the previous release. I like that kind of the design there, the eyes, and then a different color scheme for the next disc. So this one has the Return of Dr. Mabuse and the Invisible Dr. Mabuse on disc 2. So I'm assuming the extras listed on the back of this case are relevant to those 2 discs. So we have, I didn't realize we have optional English dub tracks on these. I know with a lot of the Hong Kong releases they do that, but yeah, obviously you get the original German audio tracks, but there are also optional English dubs. There are audio commentaries by film historian and author David Kalatz, which is, to me, is just like a main attraction. I love his commentaries so much, so that to me is just like a huge asset to this collection. Introductions to each film by genre film expert and video watchdog founder Tim Lucas. Mabuse Lives at CCC, an interview with film producer Alice Browner, managing director of CCC Film and daughter of CCC founder Arthur Browner. 2002 interview with actor Wolfgang Priest, who I believe plays Mabuse in the majority of the films in this collection, and also an alternative ending for The 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse, including trailers as well. Now it just says audio commentaries, plural, so I'm assuming that David Kalat has commentaries on all 3 of the films in this particular case. So let's flip around the artwork and take a look at the other 2. So this one is spine number 305 in the MOC collection, The Return of Dr. Mabuse, and that image of the eyes there from the 2 discs. This definitely looks like kind of an original poster piece. And then we have spine number 306, which is The Invisible Dr. Mabuse. I just love these old, legit posters. They're so cool. So there you go. That is the first case of... Again, I'm not sure, we'll find out now, I guess, exactly how many discs are in this, if it's 3 or 4. I'm assuming it's got to be 4 because we have 6 films. Yes, okay, give me a second. So once again, we have the same artwork on the disc, but in different color schemes. So this is disc 3, it has The Testament of Dr. Mabuse, Scotland Yard Hunt, Dr. Mabuse, and then finally on its own disc at the end, we have The Death Ray of Dr. Mabuse. So let's take a look at the artwork on the other films. This one actually has the relevant extras. Let's go over that first. Again, optional English dub tracks, commentaries by David Kalat, Introduction to each film again by Tim Lucas. Criminology, video essay by David Cairns and Fiona Watson. I like their stuff on other releases they've done in recent memory. I'm thinking specifically of some of the silent film stuff. And I'm not gonna attempt that, but it is an Italian title, which is the alternate Italian cut of the Death Ray of Dr. Mabuse, and then finally trailers. So I don't know if that Italian version is in high definition also. I'm assuming it is, and that may be why it has its own disc at the end. So there are lots of bits of information on the films in the back. Obviously, I'm not going to kind of go into too much of that because I want to kind of go on the journey myself, but this is spine number 307, The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. Quite a stark image there with the eyes and then these screaming characters behind the bars. Then at spine number 308, we have Scotland Yard hunts Dr. Mabuse. I really like this one, very moody image. And then we have on the back, 309, a lot of glare, sorry, it's hard to kind of get. There you go, The Death Ray of Dr. Mabuse. That's a cool one with the coffin, and yeah, that's really nice. So there you have the 4 discs of the 6 films included in this collection. Mabuse Lives. And now let's take a look at the booklet. Very cool. That's a nice image. So I don't know all that's in here, but we'll take a quick peek. Very nice. And the eyes there, and a contents listing. Let's take a look at the contents, and I'll just briefly flip through the booklet. We have Arthur Brauner, Master of Cinema, A Brief History of CCC Film by Tim Bergfelder. The Immortal, wow, I'll leave them for free. The Immortal Dr. Mabuse, Notes on CCC Film's Mabuse series by Holger Haase, or Haas. Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey by David Cairns. Fritz Lang on Dr. Mabuse, a scrapbook. And The Final Unrealized Projects by Lotte Eisner. Viewing notes and release credits. I even just love the font. You know what I'm like with fonts. We have the kind of cast list, I'm assuming, for each film. Very nice. I like that. And I realize now I'm kind of zoomed in a bit too much. Hang on a second. Alright, that's a bit better. So The 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse. The Return of Dr. Mabuse. The Invisible Dr. Mabuse. The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. Scotland Yard hunts Dr. Mabuse. And finally, The Death Ray of Dr. Mabuse. There's a picture there of Arthur Brauner. Some images there. This just looks like a really, really nice booklet. Let's give you some more idea here. The Immortal Dr. Mabuse. Some images there. Just, yeah, I can't wait to dive into all of it. Oh, that's cool. I like the color scheme there. A bit sickly, but, you know, it gives it some character. Very nice. So, yeah, I'll just skim through here and not kind of go through everything, but, yeah. So you get kind of an interview there with Fritz Lang on Dr. Mabuse, which is kind of cool. Very much looking forward to diving into that one. And yeah, so man, this just looks like a phenomenal release, honestly. Yeah, I've heard that the films aren't brilliant or anything, but I don't know. It's just it's a series that I really like, even though I've only seen the first 2 films, so to speak. But this should be a really interesting dive deeper into the character and just more German cinema in general. And it feels like this year, based on some of the announcements and upcoming releases, that Eureka are actually focusing quite a bit on German cinema, which is an interesting diversion I wasn't expecting, but it's very welcome as far as I'm concerned. And one little detail I just wanted to point out, I really like it when box sets do this. It's such a tiny, tiny, ridiculous thing, but you know, I talked about how I like how the artwork runs across the spine into the back. I love how it kind of continues on the inside. It's just such a small detail, but I really like it. I don't know if yeah, you can see on the other side there. it's just a nice touch, you know. I just feel like it makes it feel a lot classier. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just like it's just an extra bit of added detail that I think is really cool. So yeah. So there we have it. Mabuse lives. If I could give a minor criticism, I would say that it would be nice just to have a little list on the back of just kind of each film, the year that it came out, and who directed it. Just like a little tiny thing somewhere. I think that would be cool. And also just individual running times. You just don't get it anywhere on this set. And I just think that it's handy to have that sometimes. And they don't seem to do that with their box sets at all. So it just says 549 minutes. I just think it would be nice to have a breakdown of each individual film. And it's only 6 movies. I think it would be good to include, even if it was only on the Amore cases on the inside. But yeah, just a little tiny minor nitpick. Otherwise, at a glance, this thing looks great, and I can't wait to get diving into it. That's not a sentence that works properly, but it's kind of true. I can't wait to get diving into it. I mean, you understand what I mean by that. It's not grammatically correct, but we'll go with it. Dr. Mabuse. Mabuse lives at CCC 1960 and 1964. I'm not sure, and I'll probably say that in a second when we cut back to my my outro, but I'm not sure how I'm going to cover these yet. But we'll see. I might do individual reviews. I might do a big one. I have no idea yet, but either way, however I decide to cover it, I'm very eager and keen to continue to dive into the world of the mysterious Dr. Mabuse. So there you have it. Yeah, I really like this one. I don't know, and it feels nice. Like it has a nice texture to it. I don't know. I like the nice heft, nice texture to it. And I'm just really intrigued. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated to kind of dive into these, and the fact that the 1,000 Dies of Dr. Mabuse was done by Fritz Lang is almost kind of like a fun jumping off point. So I look forward to getting into these. Who knows how the hell I'm going to cover them on this channel, whether individually or all together collectively, I do not know. But if you got the box set, let me know what you think. If you started watching any of them, what your thoughts are. And if you know, what experience you might have with the original films as well, or at least the first 2. So, and I wasn't even aware, I don't think I've mentioned that, I was not even aware that there were all these other ones that kind of span out from, you know, from this kind of 60s run of the character. And for all I know, there might be roots dating far beyond the Fritz Lang film. I don't know. I've never listened to like the commentaries and stuff on it. So I'm hoping that this set will not only kind of, you know, show me 6 more films starring the character of Dr. Mabuse. You know, I know that the actor is not around from the silent era playing the character in these films, but also just learning more about the history of the character, which I'm sure is going to be all over this, as we talked about with the extras, which it just seems like they put together a really great slate of supplemental material for this. So I'm very excited about getting into it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.